Are you going to jail? Well, the answer to that question is maybe. Am I going to go to jail? Am I going to go to prison? One of the biggest questions that people ask me in a consultation, it's a high anxiety moment. Somebody's been recently arrested or charged with a crime, and they have a lot of anxiety up until their first court date and even thereafter. And most of it is because of the unknown. They don't know what's to come because most people don't have a criminal history. And so whether you will or will not have to serve jail time or prison time really depends on a variety of factors like your criminal history, the seriousness of the offense that you're charged with. And one thing to bear in mind, and this sort of alleviates a lot of people's anxiety, that's what probation is for. So in a lot of cases, in the vast majority of cases, I would argue, especially if it's a misdemeanor case, you know, there is a probationary period that courts typically impose so that you don't have to serve a jail sentence. When you look at your paperwork or you start doing your own legal research and see that your particular offense carries, you're facing a year in jail or 6 months in jail or 16 months in the state prison or more, well, that doesn't mean that that's necessarily what you're getting. And you see this in the news with Diddy saying he's facing, decades in prison, or you see it with Bill Cosby, decades in prison, or Weinstein, decades in prison, life in prison. Well, those are maximums. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what a person is going to end up being sentenced to. That's just a maximum for the offense that they're charged with. And seldom does somebody serve the maximum prison term unless it's a very, very serious case. For example, in misdemeanor cases, even though your maximum may be a year in jail, that doesn't mean you're going to serve even a minute of jail time. You may not serve any jail time, but you may be given probation. And in California, the probationary periods vary depending on the charges that you have. And I'll explain more about that in another clip.